Bing bong, it's time for all competitors to wake up. Alright, I'm awake already. Bing bong, it's time for all competitors to wake up. How do I turn you off? I'm not too fond of seeing disassembled computer parts. That puts me right out of the mood. Whips and leather, on the other hand. That is not what I meant, and you know it. Die. How do I turn the alarm off? The magic word is banana. Banana! Banana, banana, banana. Command accepted. Alarm shutting off. Di did a poor impression of a robot. Her arms flailed wildly up and down in a stilted fashion. Her impression was emphatically concluded by her impression of shutting down. Complete with a crooked head and arm swaying from the elbow. It looked like a dance move my father would have done. That is to say, it was not a good show. Are you done? Good morning. Uh-huh. I love it. Well, it's that time again, folks. Fighting for your life has never been so much fun. Come join us in the dining hall right now for the second round of the deletion games. I'll be there in a moment. Now please leave me alone. You're not very nice in the mornings, you know that? There should be a question mark on the end of that, by the way. I know you didn't. I doubt they asked for this to be proofread, but I'm proofreading it anyway because it's what I do. Di huffed audibly and then zapped out of the room. I made my way quickly to the dining hall to see that everyone had already assembled. And here's the slowpoke. Now that everyone's here, let the fun begin. At Di's exclamation, the surface of the dining table was overlaid with 4 hologrammatic terminals, one on each side of the table. We all gathered close to a nearby terminal to have a look. This one had 2 distinct areas. On the left was a blank card. On the right-hand side of the terminal was dominated by the outline of a hand. From this point onwards, the dining hall will be a place of transactions. Parties to a transaction must be declared before entering the room, and only those involved in the transaction may enter this room. Any attempt to force your way in or otherwise interfere with the transaction will result in an instant forfeit. Okay, so they enforced that. Good. Rules are rules. Once players have entered the dining hall, you must choose who will control the transaction by using the primary terminal. The primary terminal is the one in front of the phallic statue. Come, have a look. We all made our way up to the primary terminal to verify Di's information. She wasn't lying. The left-hand side of the primary terminal contained an additional section with 3 choices labeled Combine, Trade, Give. So whoever's controlling the transaction could screw you, too. Presumably. To use the terminal, you must place your hand in the holographic screen. Once your handprint has been verified, the number on your card will appear. If you have 2 cards, both will appear. The person at the primary terminal must choose which transaction is to be undertaken. Those people who are at passive terminals can see which action is chosen but are unable to see the card numbers of the others participating in the transaction. Results of a combined transaction will not be known until judgment. The only information that will be displayed is who you have combined with in the total score. So it's still a mystery. Damn. I love the layers. Results of a trade or give transaction will be noticeable during any following transactions, as your card number or amount will have either increased or decreased. In order to make sure that no one can see your card while you are transacting, each terminal has thick holographic walls. No one can know your card number unless you tell them. Half the fun has been watching you all lie to each other, after all. I am available outside the dining hall at any time to repeat instructions or answer any questions you may have. You have 1 hour to complete your transactions. I wish you all the best of luck. Now kindly get out. Di ushered us out into the hallway. All pretense was gone. Alliances grouped together publicly without hesitation. Kimiko and Yoshiki, Nicholas and Beatrix, Shizuka and Katashi, Vladimir, Corrupt, and Melody. And me, standing alone. I needed to decide who I was going to pair with. The group stood staggered down the hallway, all keeping a watchful eye on the door to the dining room. None were willing to make the first move. Abruptly, Kimiko and Yoshiki approached the hologram standing guard. Di, Yoshiki and I would like to transact. Sorry, that was the captain. Yoshiki and I would like to transact. Very well. This way, please. The 2 entered the dining hall and the door swooshed closed. A click of a lock is audible. Was audible. 10 shift. The message was clear. We were not to enter. Everyone would be waiting to make their arrangements as soon as possible. The longer you waited in this game, the more likely the numbers you needed would pair up or swap with someone else. This was the moment of truth. going to go with Katashi and Shizuka. It was decided I would pair up with Katashi and Shizuka. Their strategy to put the mission first had somewhat endeared me to them. They were making the best out of an impossible situation in a rational way, and I admired them for that. Katashi and Shizuka stood quite close to the door. They greeted me with smiling faces. Hey guys, does the offer to to team up still stand by any chance?
Surely does.
We're glad you just decided to trust us. You won't regret it. It looks like the dining room is going to be crowded for a while. Shall we come back in half an hour? We do have a bit of time, and still, if we stay together, you know, it stops us thinking that one of us is betraying the others. That's the hell I would have said it, but yeah, that's the gist of it.
Woohoo, I vote we kill time by playing video games.
Shizuka, you can play after we're done. Right now, we should all just get some peace and quiet. Let's head to the Eco Lounge. Fine by me. I was not expecting this to be this long. The Eco Lounge was the perfect place. It is the eye of the storm. Even with all the tension currently taking place, a brisk walk away, and this place still felt pure. We whiled away 40 minutes with casual conversation as we laid on our backs in the soft grass, watching the stars drift overhead. By the time we returned, the hallway was empty. It seemed everyone had either finished their business or decided to regroup. Yahoo! Are you here to transact? Yes, Shizuka, Neko, and I. Okie dokie, hokey pokey. You have 10 minutes to complete the transaction, at which time you will be forcibly removed. Moment of truth. Door closed with a loud metallic clang behind us. We'd agreed earlier that Shizuka would be in charge of the primary terminal. Spending some time in the Eco Lounge had eased any lingering doubts from my mind. I knew they wouldn't betray me. I knew it in my heart. I made it my way to one of the side terminals, opposite Katashi. Once I stepped in front of the terminal, the front and side walls prevented me from seeing anything. All of my attention focused on the screen. This would determine my future. The sensation of placing my hand on something that wasn't physically there was very surreal. It was silly, but I couldn't help but think that I would feel some slight vibration of electricity, but there was nothing. My terminal beeped as my handprint was verified to be my own. The terminal changed to display my name and card number, a lonely 5. On my screen, I could see the word combine light up as it was selected. In a moment, the number on my card changed to 5 plus Shizuka plus Katashi, and it was done. We were officially allied. Congratulations. Your transaction has been completed. Judgment will occur in 8 minutes. Thank you for participating in the deletion game. We exited the dining room and into the empty corridor. Oh, man.
I'm glad that's over. I don't think I've ever said that about a game before.
This isn't those Pixar dot things on a screen, Shizuka.
You mean pixels?
Whatever. The point is, it's not a game. Well, I think it's about time for the results. Extra, extra. Be sharp, sing on rooftop. Attention, attention. The deletion game for this week has ended. All participants are to meet in the dining room at once. Dai's voice thundered through the ship. I froze. It was the moment of truth. You'd all better hurry. I'm not going to wait to announce the results, you know. I closed my eyes, inhaled and exhaled deeply, and then I was ready. Well, as ready as I'd ever be. Everyone congregated in the dining hall within minutes of Dai's announcement. The anticipation in the room was palpable. Everyone was jittery and silent, eager to hear the results. It is time for judgment, friends. If you all look up here, I've created a holographic scoreboard for your convenience. You can thank me later. In a minute, this board will display the final result of each of you. The individual members of each player... The individual numbers of each player will not be displayed. After all, what's done is done. Okay. So at least it's less of a pain to watch, I guess? I don't know. My heart was pounding so hard against my chest it threatened to burst into pieces. Shallow, rapid breaths were all I could muster as I clenched my eyes shut, horrified to see my fate sealed in glowing letters and numbers. Oh, I'm just as excited for you all to find out the results. Here we go. 3, 2, 1... They had 7 and 6. Had to be. They were probably honest with me. At least one of her parents gave her the 10. What would that make? 7, 3, 6, 4, 8 and 2 maybe? On these two? I'm trying to do the math. No, but she had 2. 9 and 1. That had to be 9 and 1. But how did he have 12? Somebody else gave him a number too. What a relief. I was safe. I was safe. I wasn't going to die. Oh yeah, you kind of have a whole more game to play. Or be in. A tremendous wave of relief washed over me. People who baked cakes or played video games couldn't be bad. At least, actually both of those have been proven wrong in recent months. But anyway. Katashi, she's got all had proud, shiny 10s above our names. It wasn't until my eyes searched further along the scoreboard that I saw it. Corrupt had a 0. I'm guessing she's gone no matter what. That's why we never learned her name. What is the meaning of this? Die! Your scores are wrong. Why does my wife have a 0? Tell me! Vladimir stormed up to the hologram, demanding an explanation. His once kind face was distorted with rage. A deep, tempestuous red crawled up his neck as he roared expletives at Die.
Shh, now, love, let me explain. Mommy, what's going on? Why is Daddy yelling? Everything's fine, sweetheart.
This can't be happening. Oh God, not again. I will not let you take the person I love. You will have to take me apart piece by piece before I let you touch a hair on this woman's head. Wait, this happened before?
How dare you? How dare you accuse me of cheating? You must play by the rules, human, and so must I. It's not wrong, Vladimir. Please, honey, don't do this in front of Melody.
Who did this? One of you tricked her into doing this. I can't strangle the hologram, but I can still bloody well strangle one of you lot. Vladimir whipped around the room like a hurricane, threatening pain to everyone in the room.
Vladimir, stop, please.
Please, don't tell me this is true. It can't be true. I can't lose you. All eyes were fixed on the furious Vladimir and the calming, tender touches of Corrupt.
I'm so sorry.
Why? His voice quavered, cracking slightly. It was a hurt voice. The voice of a broken man. Why would you do this to me? To Melody?
I did this for you. For Melody. For what's left of the human race. When we signed up for this mission, all those many years ago, we agreed that we would do whatever it took to make this mission succeed. And after what happened to Charles, to your wife, to our friends, I never thought I would recover. Then one day, you made me the worst lamington I've ever eaten, and then all at once, I saw you clearly. I realized that between the late-night poker sessions and letting me steal your chocolate rations that I loved you. That I had loved you for some time. But that doesn't change the mission. I don't
care about the mission.
Yes, you do. That's the disbelief talking. You know why that we have a duty, that this is bigger than you or I. That's why I did it. I'm the most replaceable crew member. I passed on everything I know to Shizuka, but you still have a job to do. Our little Melody, she's going to be a scientist just like her father, and she will pass on that knowledge to her children when they do the same. You're still necessary to this mission, my love.
I can't do this without you.
Please. You can. You will, for Melody's sake.
Vladimir wrapped his arms around his wife and hugged her tightly. It seemed as if Vladimir was trying to convey everything his words could not with the love of his hug. He clung to her so closely, so desperately. We were all intruding on an intensely personal exchange.
Mommy, what's going on?
Corrupt scooped Melody into her arms, sitting Melody on her hip.
I'm sorry, sweetheart. I have to get away for a while, but Daddy will be here to take care of you and keep you safe, alright? I don't want you to go. I know, sweetie. One day you'll understand. Oh, aren't you guys just the cutest? Time is money, people. It's time to spin the wheel of fatality. Woo!
Wheel of Flourish. That conjured a sizable holographic wheel, split up into labeled sections. I barely got a chance to read them. Gravity, airlock, oxygen, spacewalk. Before Dai spun the wheel heftily, and the words blurred together. Our eyes are fixed on the wheel. Were fixed on the wheel. And began to slow and tick, tick, tick. As it began to slow and tick, tick, tick to a standstill. Yeah, that just needs to be cleaned up a bit. It's fine.
Incineration. Well done, you. No time like the present. Let's head on down to the incinerator, shall we? Can't I just have a minute with my family to say goodbye? No. Move it, sister. Everyone, follow me. As you remember from last time, viewing the deaths is a mandatory part of the participation in the deletion game. Come along now.
That's messed up. That's messed up. I will not allow Melody to watch. I absolutely refuse.
I must agree, Di. Subjecting a child to witness the demise of a family member is cruel, even for you.
Di spat out her answer through gritted teeth and a plastered smile.
Melody is a participant just like you. I will not bend the rules merely because she's shorter than the rest of you.
She's a child!
She's a member of this crew. Now, feel free to continue to argue with me, but for every second you push the issue, I'll be decreasing the amount of oxygen flowing into this room. This is low, Di, even for you. Fine. We'll do it your way. And here I thought a little CO2 poisoning might improve your personality. Maybe next time, eh, Captain?
Well, that's just effing great. The march to the incinerator was grueling. I'd never seen a person die before. It's something I'd never thought I would see. My stomach revolted at the prospect. My mind felt numb. New scenery, too. I was never in this section before. I couldn't imagine what Corrupt was going through right now. Corrupt set a slow pace to the incinerator, dragging out the precious time she had left to spend with her family. The sound of Melody's uncontrollable sobbing was the sole sound that echoed throughout the bowels of the ship as we delved deeper than I'd ever ventured before. The temperature rose with every step, and I slowly became aware of the gentle crackling of flames. There it was, the furnace. The room was cavernous, dominated by a raging fire held at bay by a thick pane of glass. You'd think they'd have something a little more futuristic, like plasma or something. Not just straight up fire. It's dark. But, I don't know. Fire's timeless. Crowding into the room, the heat overwhelmed us as the door to the furnace room thudded shut behind us without warning. There was a chute in the roof above the center of the flames for easy access, but clearly this occasion warranted using the hinged door cut into the glass.
Here we are. Corrupt for losing round 2 of the deletion game. You have been designated the punishment of incineration. I must insist that you enter the furnace immediately. No one goes out or in until she goes in and gets a little singed.
Company, fall in! All except Melody and Vladimir immediately formed a regimented line and put their hand in the salute position. I mimicked their actions as best I could.
Formal rank Corrupt. Navigation Officer of the Everett. You have served with great honor, for your contributions to this mission are countless. Your compassion and your loving heart have made this ship a better place. You will be missed.
Company, salute! The entire line saluted in unison. Corrupt's smile was bittersweet. She stood up straight and locked gaze with each of us meaningfully before returning a salute of her own. There's gonna be screaming. There's gonna be screaming.
It has been a privilege to serve with such fine men and women. Godspeed, friends.
Corrupt,
You don't have to say a word. I already know.
Corrupt and Vladimir shared a deep, lingering kiss.
Goodbye, my love.
In you go, Corrupt. Clocks are ticking. Corrupt crouched down face to face with Melody, who was clutching her father's lab coat tight in her fist. Melody's face was stained with tears.
Now, Melody, I need you to do something for me, sweetheart. When I step in there, I need you to close your eyes and not open for anything. Do you understand? Don't open your eyes, sweetie. Okay. This to your father. Be a good girl. Love without measure. I love you, Melody. You are the light of my life, and I hope one day you will understand and be able to forgive me. Always remember that I love you. Always.
Corrupt hugged her daughter one final time, kissed her on top of the head, forced a smile, and stood up.
I'm ready, Di. About time.
I could feel the searing heat on my skin as Corrupt opened the door to the incinerator and stepped in, shutting the door behind her. Whoa. No, that's not cool. That's not cool.
Mommy, don't!
Melody rushed towards the glass, banging her open hands in desperation as if it only just struck her what was about to happen. The flames licked at Corrupt's ankles as she bent down and smiled comfortingly. The incredible strength it would take just to do even this? It's blowing my mind.
It's okay, sweetie. Everything will be fine. Close your eyes, honey. Mom, come back.
Melody stood, dejected, tears cascading down her cheeks and onto the floor. She stood watching her mother numbly. The tongues of flame had begun to blacken the navigation officer's clothing. Violent, blistering welts began forming on her exposed skin.
Close your eyes, Melody. Close your eyes. Vladimir, make her close her eyes, please.
Vladimir bent down and forced Melody to turn away from the visage of her burning mother. Smoke poured off Corrupt's scorched body. Animalistic howls racked through her body as she shrieked, unable to bear the pain. Melody, honey, look at Daddy. It's okay, honey. The last I saw was Vladimir pulling Melody into a hug, holding her head so that she couldn't turn to look at her mother, whose charred skin was starting to slickly separate from the muscle underneath. I clamped my eyes shut, sickened by the sight. Even with my eyes shut, my imagination ran riot as a visceral thump reverberated throughout the room. The putrid smell of burning hair pushed me to the edge as I began to gag. Cold air whooshed in behind me. The doors had opened. I opened my eyes and scrambled towards the exit as fast as my legs could carry me. We all splayed about the corridor, Beatrix and Nicholas holding each other for support. Shizuka was on her knees in the corner, spasming rhythmically, holding back the contents of her stomach by sheer force of will. Vladimir. Oh, Vladimir. His face was drawn and his eyes tearful red, but he was doing his very best to hold together for Melody, who was now screaming and thrashing in his arms. One by one, we left the two of them alone, unable to endure the sight of their agony. As we left the area, a voice taunted us through the intercom. The next round of the deletion game begins in 24 hours. Oh, that's the credits. Cool. Thank you for playing. Quantum Suicide has been fully funded on Kickstarter, but I'm going to put it in the fun playlist anyway. None of this would be possible without the love and support of our Quantumers. Words cannot begin to express how grateful we are. Thank you. Well, there you go. It's a fresh demo. That's prologue, lead-in, meet some new characters. Things happen, clearly, if you've gotten this far. Yeah, that's very evocative writing. Again, still need some cleanup, but I like how it's coming along. I need to find some money and back this. I'm not sure entirely how many days this has left as of this. Probably at least a week or two. It got funded really quickly, but it's been a week or two since they started the new Kickstarter. So there's still time left as of this posting. I'm just not sure how much. But yeah, thanks for those who have supported the game. Even if I can't get around to backing it, I will definitely be picking it up after it comes out. Things are a little tight right now. But I'd also like to thank the people at Quantum Suicide. I should probably disclose. They did send this demo to me, although they did tell me it is also available on the Kickstarter page. So a step was shortened, but it's not like I'm getting overly special treatment here, as far as I know. But I'd like to thank them for passing this along to me via Twitter. And I'm glad I could share it with all you. So yeah, keep checking back on that. Again, link to the Kickstarter will be in the info section. And looking forward to it. Hey, Nagelbun here. Thanks for watching. If you like clicking stuff, try clicking some of the stuff that's on screen right now. It's mostly self-explanatory, though if you click the video, it should take you back one in the playlist. Unless there is no back one in the playlist, in which case, it won't do anything. If you're on mobile, none of it will do anything, because annotations don't work on there, and you're going to have to do things the hard way. Luckily, there's some links in the About section that should save you a little bit of trouble.